a service of CNC Worldwide.
CNC podcasts are a service of CNC News, and they're brought to you by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 800 member companies with business solutions since 1984. Greet the Arctic air. It has settled in over western New York and the entire Rochester area. The visit will be brief compared to last week. By next weekend, temperatures should bounce back up to near 50. But for now, temperatures that started early Monday in the 40s and dropped to the freezing point by the time people headed to work and to school continued on down to single numbers and then below zero over the next 24 hours. Tuesday's high temperatures across the area will stay in the single digits. Wind chills will be around 30 below zero. And as I am recording this in Greece, New York, lovely Greece, New York, it's 2 below zero and feels like 20 below despite the very bright sunshine. The city of Rochester has set up warming stations at 3 community centers. Trash pickup was canceled. Regional Transit Service announced that for the time being, its buses are providing free rides for anyone who needs to get to one of those warming centers. Rochester schools closed, so did Greece Central and all suburban Rochester school systems for Tuesday. Rochester Gas and Electric said more than 4,000 Webster residents lost power in Monday night's cold because of a transformer failure. All were back on by 11 p.m. Governor Cuomo declared a state of emergency for all western New York counties and those east of Lake Ontario. He closed the state thruway from Buffalo west to the Pennsylvania line and parts of other interstates going through heavily affected areas. It remains closed on Tuesday morning. Forecasts called for 3 feet of snow in parts of those areas from lake effect. The governor's office also has National Guard troops on standby if needed to help communities dig out. Livingston County Sheriff Thomas Doherty declared a no unnecessary travel emergency for Livingston County highways. Genesee and Wyoming County Sheriff's offices did the same. Both Livingston, Genesee, and Wyoming have been getting heavy lake effect snows. The National Weather Service has them under blizzard warning for Tuesday morning. Governor Cuomo wants to eliminate New York's corporate income tax for upstate manufacturers and says he will propose cutting New York's corporate tax rate back to 1968 levels. The governor met with pro-business groups in Albany Monday to announce a tax reform package based on the work of last year's tax commission, which was headed by former Governor George Pataki and former Comptroller Carl McCall. The governor says he will cut the corporate income tax rate for upstate manufacturers to zero if he gets his way. He also wants to use state dollars to refund manufacturers 20% of their local property tax bills. The governor said that ends the debate and makes New York the cheapest place for companies looking at tax rates when they decide where to locate. And Cuomo says New York's highest in the nation property taxes are because we just have too many local government divisions. He is proposing a 2-year state refund of local property taxes for homeowners. To get it, their local governments have to stay within the state property tax cap, and they have to take concrete steps to consolidate with other local governments or to at least share services to cut their expenses. He says local governments that don't want to merge or merge services can then explain to their voters why they didn't get the tax breaks. The governor also plans to bypass the state legislature and establish a New York medical marijuana program by executive order. The governor's staff briefed officials of the New York Drug Policy Alliance on this last weekend. The governor wants to allow 20 hospitals across New York to use marijuana to treat patients for ailments ranging from multiple sclerosis to some sorts of cancer. The state health department will set up regulations, as it does for all controlled substances. A recent Siena poll found 82% of all New Yorkers support medical marijuana. A Brighton woman is charged with having sexual contact with a student while working as a teacher for the Rush Henrietta School District. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says Rachel Santora is charged with committing a criminal sex act and endangering the welfare of a child. The Sheriff's Office said she had sex with a 15-year-old boy last summer while she was tutoring him at her home. She currently is employed by Monroe BOCES. And a Hilton man will serve 3 to 9 years in prison, 5 years probation after being convicted of vehicular manslaughter. Robert Mastkowski was convicted a month ago in connection with a 2012 drunk driving crash in Hamlin. He hit another car on Brick Schoolhouse Road and killed Louis Alayon and injured his pregnant fiancée. Mastkowski had 3 prior DWI convictions. Brighton kicks off its bicentennial celebration Wednesday night at its first town board meeting of 2014. That's 7 p.m. at the town hall. The town held its first board meeting, by the way, April 5th, 1814, at Stone's Tavern, now the historic Stone Tolan House. Your next podcast is whenever you click on a CNC News page and hear it, and updates are posted as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News. Stay warm.